I was recently at the Art Gallery of Hamilton and saw a eye-opening exhibit by Alex Jacobs Bloom, who is a German visual artist and curator living in Hamilton. And I was struck by a piece of writing that she had written and wanted to share it here on living and lost connections. From the depths of my body, the cosmos unfurl. Starlight courses through veins held by ancestral presence from within. Our bodies, formed from clay and moonlight, exist as celestial entities in a cycle of reawakening. My journey intertwines with that of my ancestors, traversing across time and space, feeling their resonance on homelands. Life and death transcend earthly vessels, existing in cyclical motions. My soul is a traveler of many lifetimes. I greet myself back at the beginning of my journey, but stronger. Embodied echoes of knowledge stir from within, returning to my medicines. Whispers flow through my bloodstream. While the words evade my understanding, I feel my ancestors calling to me, a tender embrace welcoming me home. Their gestures are gentle and loving as I remember my sacred responsibilities. As the ancestors bear witness, we shed collective tears born from generations of grief and loss. The land they once nurtured has been uprooted and laid to waste, leaving our spirits shattered and our languages silenced. Yet, like the moon orbiting the earth, we continue. The tides ebb and flow within feminine bodies, ensuring continuous rebirth and regeneration. Generations of women intricately weave memories into mine, forging pathways for my return, slowly navigating the vast map. Seemingly endless, ancestral frequencies resonate. A tapestry of kin and relatives stretch like galaxies, forming the essence of my existence. We rise and fall, mirroring the land's rhythmic breaths. The journey of healing unfolds, non-linear and adaptive like time itself. Our memories are destined to be etched into the stars and passed down through generations' legacy. Alex Jacobs Bloom. So carrying on with this theme of legacies that we talked about last week, I felt compelled to share this artist with you in the same vein that it really roots back to our connection to ancestors, history, land, our lineage. Often we move through our world in a silo of me, myself, and I, and we tend to forget everything it took before us and everything it took after us. And something that I find quite helpful to keep this at the forefront are the 5 remembrances. Now, this is taught in Buddhism, and I will read them out. The first is, I am of the nature to grow old. There's no way to escape growing old. This idea that age and the aging process, senescence, it's all part of the cycles, this ebb and flow, the currents moving through us, and time evading us. We are not immortal. And how can we use that as an invitation to really be intentional with our time here and what we want to do, what we want to say, how we want to leave a signature on the universe. The second is, I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I find this one quite humbling on days where I might not be so keen about myself, be it through my performance, my physique, my appearance, and just remembering that instead of focusing on all of the things our bodies can't do, reframing that into what are all of the things that I'm actually able to do that other people can't. For example, going on a walk. It might be super simple, and you might think you will always have access to your feet, your running shoes, but what if that wasn't a given, but a gift? And how can you use that to really anchor into gratitude for having that ability to walk, to move, to express yourself through art, through sport, through performance? The third remembrance is I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. And although this one sounds quite harsh, it's the truth. It's inevitable. We are here for that brief stint of time. And again, how can you use that time to be of the highest service, to live out your passion? We only get so many hours, so many days, so many weeks. So if you needed to hear it today, this is your reminder that all things are in flux and impermanent. And so, how can you embody that idea of making the most of what you have while you have it and really anchoring into gratitude through that? The fourth remembrance is all that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature to change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. I think that this is so beautiful to be able to acknowledge that everything in life changes. There's nothing that stays the same. Even if we think it stays the same, it is changing. We are constantly moving, shifting. Life is dynamic. Life is up, down, in between. And just because you have something now does not mean you will always have it. So, how can you shift your perspective when you take a step outside and see things as gifts and the true beauty that is surrounding you in every given moment? The five remembrance is my actions are my only true belongings. I cannot escape the consequences of my actions. My actions are the ground on which I stand. I find this so uplifting that there's this idea we come into this world with nothing and we leave with nothing. Everything in between, it's it's simply energy. And there's nothing that is really mine and yours, and these harsh lines and property lines and distinctions between you and me, us and them. It's created so much divide. And where there used to be unity, now we have all these chasms and splits. And I think Alex, in their writing, said it beautifully. It's this idea of soul shattering. And when you can really acknowledge that the only true belongings you will ever carry are the things that you say, the things that you do. People aren't going to remember you for your material possessions. If they do, it says a lot about them. But for the most part, people are going to remember you for how you made them feel, the things that you did contributed to make their life different, to make their life special, to make them feel loved. These are the things that people are going to remember. And your actions are your only belongings at the end of the day. So, how can you use that final remembrance as a way to act in alignment with what you want to say? And to further that, how can your actions be an extension of you, essentially? So, whether that's holding the door for someone, paying it forward in line at a coffee shop, or scheduling time with a loved one, how can your actions be your most precious, sacred belongings?